I really want to focus in on some very affordable and ultra versatile men's designer scents here today. We're going to be looking at things that are $40 and under and things that can be worn for pretty much any situation that you can possibly think of. But I also did go out of the box a little bit here because, look, at the end of the day, if you were to do this video according to typical standards, all of these would probably be freshies and aquatics, or just citrus aromatics, and that's it, because those are typically things that can be worn for any situation. They're very, very safe. And if I did that, this would be a very boring video. So I know going into this, I'm going to get some people saying, oh, this fragrance, you can't wear that for this and that and everything else. And people kind of start to panic about it. Look, you can wear anything for anything. There are no instructions on the boxes of these fragrances, not a single one. And at the end of the day, if we're being realistic here and staying in touch with reality, 99% of guys who are walking into retailers, Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, are buying stuff like Eros or Spice Bomb, and they're wearing it every day, even in the summertime. So it doesn't matter that much. We're going to be looking at things that are still very versatile, and it's not going to be your typical run-of-the-mill cheapy stuff. So I want to start off with Roberto Cavalli UOMO Silver Essence. I want to throw this one up front because this is a discontinued fragrance, unfortunately. Only comes in these 2-ounce bottle sizes here. This one's available for $30 for a limited time. Will be the first link down below. This is not going to be around much longer at this price, definitely. And again, they're not making this anymore. Everything except for the original is discontinued, and all of these are getting hard to find. So if you ever see any Roberto Cavalli UOMO, I would recommend picking it up. It's got iris, cardamom, tonka, violet leaf. Smells fantastic. Similar to the original, but a little bit more of a spicy accord going on in here. A little bit more of a sweet kick. I actually kind of prefer this one compared to the original, and even, you know, in some instances I prefer it over Deep Desire. I just think it's a really well done flanker. And I didn't know that it was discontinued up until recently. That's a big bummer for sure. These are all affordable scents when you can get them, you know, at least in stock. Some of them are going up in price as they're getting more rare. But if you're able to get this for a decent price like it is now, I would not sleep on it. Next up, Bois d'Ambre by KARL Lagerfeld. This one here is a good old eau de toilette. This is a 50 ml bottle. This one's got clary sage, amber, bergamot. There's some tonka bean and cedar wood in here as well. This smells a little bit similar to Dolce & Gabbana The One, EDT, EDP, what have you. Kind of in that same vein, you know, the woods and the amber. And while it's not a one-to-one clone, it kind of puts you in that realm for an even cheaper price. Now, Dolce & Gabbana The One EDP isn't too awfully unreasonable. However, the main problem with that and the EDT is the price to performance ratio does let some people down. So if you are okay with spending less and getting something that is not quite as similar but also still doesn't have the best performance either, this is the way to go. Now, to be fair, it's decent performing, but given the price point and the fact that it performs about the same as Dolce & Gabbana The One for half the price, it makes it a good pickup here. You know, this is one that you can apply heavily, spray it on hard, and it's going to get you some good performance out of it, and you're not going to be blowing a bunch of money. You know, again, not that The One is overly expensive, but this is even more obtainable, and it's one of those things where you can just kind of not worry about it too much. Ultimately very versatile. Now, you know, to me this could work better in the daytime environment compared to The One because it's a little bit fresher, a little bit more aromatic. And I just think it would be a great signature scent, you know, something you can wear every day. And if you're in a climate controlled environment, this is going to work all year round, and a lot of people are. Let's move on to a really, really affordable one. Usually $20, $22 for 100 ml LATTAFA ASAD. This is a clone of Sauvage Elixir, and this is one of those things that's going to get people going, oh, that's not versatile, it's, you know, hard to pull off. And I really don't think so. I think if you're someone who has a pretty good understanding of what you like in terms of scents and you like this sort of thing, you would have no problem wearing it every day to work, you know, especially if you're working in an indoor environment, climate controlled environment year round. This could be a really, really beneficial one to have on hand because it's much more mature. It's not Sauvage EDT or EDP or even the Parfum for that matter. All of those have varying levels of kind of a playfulness to them. But this one is all business, really. I mean, it just has this mature, refined, confident smell to it. And Sauvage Elixir is very expensive. Even on discounters, it's going for like $140. This, again, is $22. You can't go wrong with this one. And at the end of the day, if you weigh all your options, it's very versatile. Coming in at around $28, I believe, last time I checked, it's Pepe Jeans Cocktail Edition. Grapefruit, yuzu, ginger, and just some mild woods in here. But really, it's all about the grapefruit yuzu combination up top, a little bit of a sparkling semi-sweet ginger. Kind of gives it a little bit of a kick. This one has a very, very addictive and mouth-watering opening to it. Really punchy, really vibrant, really strong right off the top. It's one that smells fantastic, especially in the summertime. And, you know, like I said in the beginning, normally when putting a list together like this, it's going to be mostly consisting of things like this. I didn't want to just flood a whole bunch of stuff in here that does a similar thing. So this is going to be one of the more fresh ones of the bunch, but still works great. And even in wintertime, you know, it's going to give you that kind of refreshing kick if you just want a little bit of that summer mood again when it's dead and cold outside. This is a great one to go with. And at the price point, you really can't go wrong. We'll knock out that other fresher one here real quick. We have AZZARO Chrome Extreme. Basically, this is going to be in a similar realm to Acqua di Gio Profondo. You got C notes, orange, cashmere, and you get a little bit of the mineral notes smell with this, although not nearly as heavy as in Profondo itself. That's one of the main differentiating factors between the two. And of course, the price as well. Profondo, you know, for the 125 ml, usually you're looking at right around $100, sometimes a bit more, sometimes a little bit less if it's on sale. This is usually going to be around 40, 45 most places. So you're looking at a lot of savings here. And I think when it comes to picking out a signature scent and you want something that's going to be affordable, this is a great one to go with, because if you really like Profondo but you just can't fathom wearing it every day and burning through it quick, because if you do wear it every day, you will burn through it quicker than you may think, this is a nice one to throw in and supplement your use of Profondo and save a little bit of money. Speaking of saving money, you can go with something like Al Haramain's Detour Noir as well. So this is very, very similar to Layton. In fact, this is a straight up Layton clone. There's no other way to put it. To me, Layton is very versatile. Even though it's sweet, it's got apple and vanilla and a little bit of cardamom, tonka bean, that sort of thing. Same with this, of course. It still has, you know, layers to it. You get a fruity and kind of fresh layer, a little bit aromatic with some lavender. But then you also get a sweeter, richer layer. You get a little bit of a mysterious kind of evening sexy counterpart to it as well. So it's covering a bunch of bases, wearing it in the daytime to your job, wearing it in the evening on a date. Just, it covers a lot of different things. And I think that's very valuable. The one main problem with Layton, though, is while it is very versatile, it's expensive. And so especially in that instance, if you're wearing it every day, that might be a little bit painful for you. I know it would be for me. And so I kind of supplement my use of Layton with this one. Now, if I'm going to be going out in an evening or something like that, and, you know, it's just going to be one of those just kind of things, right? You just go out and you're doing something fun, whatever. I'll go with Layton, right? More of a special occasion, I suppose. Might as well. I have it. There's no reason not to use it. That's why we buy these things at the end of the day. But I'm more talking on a daily use or just a real quick wearing session. If I'm going to run out and get my hair cut and come back home and that's about it, and shower afterwards, I'm not going to put on Layton. But if I'm feeling something that smells like Layton, I can use this. There's a lot of benefits to having something like this that you may not think of if you're someone who hates clones. But I encourage you to be open-minded about it, especially when you factor in the price, under $30, quality, performance. This is very impressive. I also really like this one here, TRUSSARDI Riflesso. I could describe this one simply as a fresher version of La Nuit de l'Homme. It's kind of where I'm at with it. It's got apple, tonka bean, and leather, and sure, there's some other differences as well. You know, this one has a fruity accord, which La Nuit de l'Homme does not have. The cardamom is nowhere near as strong, but it is still prominent, and it's a very, very similar cardamom note to that used in La Nuit de l'Homme, which I think is pretty cool. Fruity, aromatic, fresh but also sweet and spicy and a little bit oriental smelling. This is very sexy stuff, just like La Nuit de l'Homme, but it's ultimately more versatile, and that's what I like about it. And also much more affordable. You know, La Nuit de l'Homme, I could wear it during the day. I'm not going to. But if I want something similar to that to wear during the day, I could spray this on, and then in the evening, I could layer La Nuit de l'Homme over top of it. It's going to be a real nice mix. And I, for whatever reason, didn't get this until more recently, and I wish I would have gotten it sooner. This is a great pickup. Next up, we have Legacy right here. So this one here is going to have apple, cedarwood, lavender. Smells fantastic. There's a quote-unquote ambergris note in here as well, but you know, it's going to be an ambroxan accord. This is surprisingly decent. All around, very well-rounded, very wearable, and very mass-pleasing. There's going to be nothing super unique about this stuff, but that was kind of my thought process going into it. I'm like, you know what, I want to throw something in that's going to be not only very versatile, but also very mass-pleasing and kind of cookie cutter to some extent. This is very much a cologne-y smelling scent, and that's kind of why I chose it to be in here. If you just want to smell good, bare minimum, and that's it, check out something like this. Again, I think on discounters, $30, $35, you can't go wrong. Next up, we have the Icon Eau de Parfum by Antonio Banderas. Now, this one here has grapefruit, black pepper, and suede. Brand new release this year. Already hit discounters for 20 bucks. Can't really beat that. That's right around the same price as the EDT. And so compared to the EDT, this one is much more spicy and heavy. You know, the EDT is very Sauvage leaning. This has the same pressurized atomizer, by the way. Smells fantastic, and listen. Hear that sound, that click sound that the pressurized atomizer makes, very appealing. People compare it a little bit to Sauvage Eau de Parfum / Parfum. It's still in the same vein, but again, just a little bit more sweet, a little bit more rich, and more smooth. You know, the Icon EDT, it's going to have that kind of metallic sharpness that Sauvage has. This one does not have that. Much more refined, still very versatile, and very cheap. We'll end it with another Legacy. We have Mankind Legacy. This is Kenneth Cole. Balsam Fir, Amorous Orange, and Cedarwood are in here. Impressive. Really impressive for the price. I was going into this thinking, yeah, the note breakdown looks great. I don't know if the scent is going to reflect that note breakdown or not, but it does. You know, it really has a nice kind of aldehydic, airy and light smell, but then mixed with a little bit of a powdery sweet smell. And so what I'm getting at here is there's dimension to this one. It's going to be fresher for those warmer days and a little bit more dusty and powdery for those cooler days. And then on the in-between days, you get the best of both worlds. And look, as I mentioned, if you're looking for all-arounders, year-round scents, you're never going to have anything that does everything all perfectly. It just has to do everything really well. Jack of all trades, master of none, basically. If you want something that's going to be the best for summertime, you need something that's straight up fresh, and that's it. If you want something that's going to be the best for wintertime, you need sweetness and rich, heavy notes galore. But if you want to get a middle ground, you want to go with these 10 here. I will provide links to these down below. There will be deals over on my community tab. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.